Alright, take 3. This is my 3rd time trying to film this video. I keep rambling. My name is Camilla. I am a part-time reseller on Poshmark, and I have sold about 400 items on Poshmark, and I have about 400 active listings as well on Poshmark. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A, and I'm going to be answering questions that people have asked me on Instagram and here on YouTube, and I have about 8 questions. They're just on my little notepad right here. The first question is, how often do you source? So I source typically about once a week, and I'll spend several hours sourcing. That may just be at like one store digging around for several hours, or sometimes I go from store to store just shopping around. I think it's fun, so I usually spend quite a bit of time. But as I become full-time, I'll definitely be sourcing more than once a week, for sure. The second question is, how long does it take to photograph, and do you use apps to edit? I do not use apps to edit. I do have a light kit, and it takes me about, I would say 10 minutes to do, I would say 15 minutes to do 10 items, to photograph 10 items, but then after I photograph them, I still have to like measure them and assign an inventory number to them and put them away, so that would take me about another 25 minutes. I think I might do a video specific to photographing and how I do flat lays and mannequins, and I can talk about all the equipment I use. I think that would be helpful, so if you guys hit the subscribe button, you can be alerted for that, because maybe I'll do that like in a few days. The third question is, how many days a week do you spend on Poshmark? I spend 7 days a week on Poshmark. I do work 3 or 4 days a week at my other job, and when I'm not at that job, I am on Poshmark. So even if I'm working an 8-hour shift at my regular job, I'll still spend 3 or 4 hours doing Poshmark stuff. And on the days that I have off, I typically spend most of the day doing Poshmark stuff, like 10 hours a day, like 8 hours a day maybe. And that might include like shipping, sharing, listing, photographing, sourcing, just all of those things. Let's see. The next question is, how many sales a week do you do, or how many sales a day do you do? So that varies. I have slow weeks just like anybody else, and then sometimes I have really, really good weeks. The last 2 months or so, I have not been, I'm talking November and December, basically the holidays, I have not been on Poshmark the way I wanted to. I've taken a lot of time off. I went out of town a lot, also just like Christmas and Thanksgiving and all of that. Excuse me. Sales were slower during that time. I guess to answer the question, some days I make 0 sales, and then some days I sell 12 items or 15 items, and some days it's just 1 or 2. There's not really any specific number. I would be lying to you if I say like, oh, I sell 4 things a day, because that's not true. Sometimes 3 days out of the week I sell nothing, but then sometimes 4 days out of the week I do really well. I don't know if that makes sense. Next question is, how long does it take to ship? So on average, I'll spend about 20 to 25 minutes a day shipping. It used to take me a really, really long time, but I have figured out different ways to tweak my process, because before I was writing out handwritten cards, and that's nice and all, but it would take so long. So I've invested in business cards that are actually thank you cards. They say thank you on them and all that jazz. So that has sped it up, but I've definitely, on some occasions where I've sold a lot in one night, I've spent a good hour and a half shipping. Next question is, how often do you adjust prices? So I participate in closet clear out. A lot of people don't do closet clear out, and they think that it doesn't work. For me, it works every time. So I drop prices during closet clear out. I try not to ever drop prices when it's not closet clear out, because you have to drop it 20% to even notify your likers that the price dropped, and B, you're not always gonna get discounted shipping with the price drop. So I just think it's better to wait it out and have closet clear out. Closet clear out comes around very often, so just wait until then and you'll get more bang for your buck, basically. And then after closet clear out ends, I always adjust my prices back up. I do not just leave them there at that low price. The next question is, do you sell on other platforms? I've tried Mercari, and I've sold, I think, like 3 things on Mercari, and that was okay. I didn't really like it. I don't like the vibe on there. Maybe I'll change my mind one day, but for now I'm only on Poshmark. My boyfriend, however, does do eBay, and he does really, really well on eBay. The last question is, how often do you list and how many things do you list? So this is something I need to work on personally. Sometimes I only list like once a week, because that's just what I do. So for example, yesterday I listed 2 times, like 2 rounds. I listed in the morning and then I listed it in the evening, and I listed about 30 items. But some days I don't list anything at all, and sometimes I'll go like 5 days without listing, and then I'll just try to do everything in one day, list everything all at once. I guess to answer the question, I list like twice a week, once or twice a week. And how many things do you list? Usually it's between like 15 and 30 things at a time. So definitely at least 15 things. That's all the questions. Okay, I think I did okay. It's only been 7 minutes, so the rambling couldn't have been that bad. Thank you guys. If you guys have made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for sticking around. You guys can hit that subscribe button, and you can also follow me on Instagram. If you have any questions, I'm like always on Instagram, so you can always ask them there, and I'll usually get back to you pretty soon. And I also have a few other videos about Poshmark on my channel. I have one about how I store all my clothes and like inventory, and then I have a shipping 101 video. Yeah, bye.